Should you or should you not save someone from themselves? Is that even your choice? That is the biggest takeaway from Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Episode 8, Zetsubo no Konyakusha, the Fiancé of Despair. So, if you guys don't want to be spoiled, I'd recommend you guys catching up because you won't be able to save yourself from yourself unless you catch up on Mushoku Tensei the anime. The biggest takeaway from these past few episodes have been Rudy's EQ, social IQ, whatever you want to call it, social awareness, the social acuity, and just filtering through these different relationships, all these social interactions, and just trying to figure out what is the best decisions to make. He's helped Zanaba with his not safe for work figure making aspirations. He literally helped save the dwarf slave girl from herself and then raised her. And then essentially got Zanaba to be the caretaker for her. In episode 7, he stopped these terrorizing beast maniacs, school bullies, Linnea and Persena from ever causing trouble again. Rudy has shown how amazing he is with dealing with these social issues, these problems that arise. He also showed how powerful he really is. He single-handedly stopped Linnea and Persena, like without even really trying. Fitz, aka Sylphie, said it herself that Rudy taught her everything that she's already learning in class. So now, not every character can be perfect, right? We all have flaws, and we all know what Rudy's flaw is. ED, erectile dysfunction. It's not the ED itself that he's struggling with. It is the depression as the result of it. His literal manhood is being taken away by this ED. And how that affected him socially. For example, with Sarah saying all those mean things and how he handled not, coming up to task in the bedroom. Those things weighed heavily on him. And it's something that he can't all internalize to make his body do the normal things that it should do. So now, in episode 8, this takes us for a very funny turn with Cliff. We all know that Alina Elise is going around sleeping with dudes, gaining information any way that she can. This is another example of Rudy making the best decisions out of whatever social dynamics that he gets involved in. So as Cliff gets stomped on by a bunch of dudes that's probably ran through Alina Elise, because Cliff wants to be this Captain Save-A-Ho, bullying's all fun and games until Doronuma shows up and saves the day. So it's revealed later on that, hey, Cliff wants to get with Alina Elise, so he approaches Rudy to help him introduce himself to Alina Elise. So Rudy goes to Fitz and they have this kind of library room where that is where they kind of gossip, where they kind of bond, where they research over how that disappearance of their town, how all that stuff, the main arc, the main storyline, how that all came about. But Rudy talks to Fitz about this new revelation over Cliff wanting to get with Alina Elise, but Rudy doesn't say it outright, hey, Alina Elise is a hoe. I would never be with her. He doesn't say it like that. He's pretty much like, so I got this friend that wants to get with this girl, but it's not the type of girl that any ordinary person should really get with. But Fitz is like, you know what? I'm in a similar situation. Even though you might not like Alina Elise, that doesn't mean that Cliff wouldn't, and it's not really your choice. It's not really up to you to make those kind of decisions for them. So that right there, guys, is the biggest learning lesson of this episode. You know what? If someone approaches you about someone else, it's not like this is not something where you're snitching on them or anything like that. Even though you might have your own judgment over someone else, it's not really up to you to make those decisions for them. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just introducing the two people together. I mean, whatever happens, happens. And I think most of us can agree that that is probably the best decision to make. Even if you really are close friends or whatever like that, whatever secrets you might know, you kind of just have to let it go and let them figure out for themselves. So Rudy brings Captain Fall off a cliff to be introduced to Alina Elise, and she quickly pulls Rudy to the side and is like, yo man, how much are you getting paid? So this causes a real problem because of her curse of not being able to be in a relationship. She has to go around, bang a bunch of dudes. Most dudes pump, pump, pass. However, Cliff just wants to keep pumping and never pass. And the funny thing is, it all freaking worked out. So Alina, Lise, and Cliff are a couple, and Cliff will do anything he can to try to white knight Alina, Lise. Cliff is actually very, very supportive and wants to help her get rid of her curse. And Alina, Lise is like, you know what? I'm going to do my best not to slang my thing around. This is a great learning lesson in just letting people figure out things for themselves. Sometimes trying to save people isn't what's best in the end, because you might be wrong. And that takes us to the second half of the episode, where we actually advance through the main story. So halfway through the episode, we learned that beast people fight duels against each other in the fall to figure out who leads the family. So all these dudes are going around challenging family heads to try to wife up all of these beast chicks. Persona and Linnea lock themselves in the room so they don't get challenged for these duels, and they leave a note for Rudy saying that, "We'll leave it up to you." And Rudy's like, "What you mean leave it up to me?" And all of a sudden a chick, or a beast man, shows up to challenge Rudy. So poor NPC didn't even get a fight scene. He just got the "I got knocked the out" scene. So Fitz and Rudy have a quick discussion over the beast poon situation, and Fitz gets totally jelly. Then we are finally introduced with this multi-armed gentleman, Body Gotti, that just thrashed the whole schoolyard of beast bros. And of course, he challenges the great rudest grey rat, Doronuma. We find out that Body Gotti, he is the fiance to Kishirisu Kishirika, the great emperor of the demon world. You know, the chick that gave Rudy that eye. He goes on to explain how powerful Rudy really is with his mana capacity, being the possibly greatest in the world, more impressive than Lapras himself. Because of the Demon King, Body Gotti, Rudy gets brave to ask him about the man god. But Body Gotti, he's not aware of this godlike entity. And then he brings up the dude that he got thrashed by, but it seems like Body Gotti didn't really acknowledge that at all, that he asked that. Then eventually, Fitz arrives with Rudy's ex's staff. Rudy's seeing this godly buff dude whose name rhymes with Daddy versus this speedball quagmire. He already asked Body, "Yo man, if I take this L, you're gonna spare my life, alright?" So Body comes up with a simpler solution and brings up that you get one shot to hurt me, and if you do, you win. But if I don't, I win. So Rudy accepts and manifests his inner Eminem and loses himself in one blast. For a second, everybody and their moms thought that he sent Body to the Shadow Realm. You lose! But Body revives himself, attaches all of his body parts back together, and grows up back to a beast man. He gives Rudy his win, but Body takes his turn. After a long-winded day, Rudy thinks his life goes back to this normalcy of cop in the field, except Big Body Gotti arrives to class in a school uniform. So that is where the cliffhanger is. We are now introduced with a new character, this fiance Demon King. He doesn't seem to be that evil or anything. Very interesting to see where the story goes with this. Of course, guys, I didn't read the manga or anything like that, so everything is a surprise. So each episode so far, there's been different social dynamics that's happened to Rudy, and he's had to figure out what is the best course of action that is really best for everyone. This is pretty much what Rudy's biggest kind of step is in this show. It's just figuring out what are the best decisions to make when you have all these relationships that you're building and all these people's problems. They're coming to him to help solve it, instead of being a season where he's out there fighting people, you know, doing the typical shonen thing. Instead of overcoming physical strength or anything like that, he's overcoming all of these social situations, that he's really building his social acuity. And, you know, that is what people like about this show. For me, I prefer more of, you know, those physical fights, more of the shonen kind of deal. But, yeah, I mean, I can't really complain about more of the slice of life that's in season 2. You know, Rudy in a way is OP, like a typical OP isekai character, but at the same time, he's not. And he has all of these kind of like mental barriers that we can all kind of relate to. And he's able to overcome a lot of these social situations that arises. But we're all waiting for what? We're all waiting for that moment that he's gonna cure his ED. And we all know right now it's the obvious setup that he's gonna get what fits, who is Sophie. But yeah, this Demon King character, Body Gotti, he doesn't really bring in anything much newer than it still being a slice of life show. He doesn't bring any real tension to the show. It's just, okay, here's this fun character. Let's continue having fun, having this slice of life that is the school Renoa Magic Academy or whatever. So that's pretty much where the show is stuck at. It's a slice of life with this building romance between Fitz and Rudy questioned whether or not he's swinging to the other side with this manly feminine qualities of Fitz. Season 2 has its strong qualities for what it is, and I love the fact that he's on this different path to overcoming something that's just mental, that's affecting his biology. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys thought about episode 8 or the past few episodes. I know I haven't done a review for every single episode, so let me know if anything's happened that you guys found interesting the past few episodes. But I like the fact, okay, they're finally introducing this new character, and Rudy's going through all these phases with these other side characters to help overcome these social dynamics that kind of come up. So yeah, I would love to know what you guys think. And do me a favor, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com. Check out my anime collectibles channel where I collect plastic and cardboard. I will eventually make content over there. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.